Hi, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about how you can prevent becoming anisymmetropic or having an asymmetry between your two eyes with your lens prescription. Before I do that, let's talk about how you can consult with us. Call us if you're local, 618-288-1489. If you're not local, that's okay. Go to our website at visionforlifeworks.com. You can read success stories. You can read about various treatments and things that we do in our clinic. You can also take a quiz and you can schedule a consultation. All right, so let's go back and talk about how can you prevent becoming anisymmetropic. That's what we call it if there's a big difference between the two eyes. So it's like an asymmetry. So let's say that one eye is -1 and the other eye is a +6. That's an asymmetry in anisometropia. Also, another type of asymmetry would be even if you're just a -2 and a -10 in one eye, or if you are a, say, -0.50, so like a half diopter, but then this eye has 3 diopters of astigmatism. Those are asymmetries or anisometropias, which just mean that you will be seen differently between each eye because the size of the image will look different based on your prescriptive needs. So if there's a big difference between the two eyes in terms of the power, you're not going to see images look the same. Try it. If you wear glasses, just take your glasses off and cover up an eye and look at something far away, and then cover up the other eye and look at something far away and see, does it look the same? You know, if one's bigger and more blobby, or one's smaller, or one looks pulled and twisted to one side, then that's just telling you have a little bit of an asymmetry. Well, now that we know you may or may not have it, how do you actually prevent it from getting worse? Or better yet, how do you prevent it from even developing in someone that you love, maybe like one of your children? So here's a couple of quick tips on this. First of all, don't let them lay on their side. This can be laying on their side to watch TV. It can be laying on their side to read a book. So it can also be for adults if you're trying to make sure this doesn't happen. Don't have multiple computer screens where you don't sync up and look straight on and be more central with it. Because if you have a screen over here and you just kind of like, oh, let me just sit here and just do this, okay, that's a problem. If you've got a child who's laying on their side always and like, I'm always laying on my right side when I watch TV, okay, they will develop an asymmetry. Why? Well, it's because whichever eye is farther away from the object has to focus harder in order to be able to see the same equal amount, because it's literally not lined up at the same amount away from the thing that they're trying to look at. So for instance, if someone's watching a TV screen and they're laying on their side, the eye that's buried into the couch is having to look more challenging. It's more hard for it to look and focus in farther away than it is for the eye that's kind of located closer to it. The same thing goes for being on the computer screens. The same thing goes for laying in bed and reading a book. So you really want to make sure that you or your children square up on what they're doing and be centralized to it. So if it's a computer, square up in front of that computer and make sure you're straight across from that screen. Don't just do stuff off to the side, okay? If it's in a classroom, this can be one of the biggest challenges that I see for a lot of my patients. And we even see kids come in who've developed a strabismus or eye turn, not just an asymmetry in power like what I'm talking about, but it can develop a strabismus too if a person who lays on their side all the time and reads books or does something like that, or in the classroom, as I mentioned. And that's because we sometimes have things like a regular old-fashioned chalkboard, a white erase board, and then there might be some sort of a smart board or a Promethean board that is located and projected somewhere for kids to look at. When a lot of times the complaints that I hear from kids who are in school is that, well, it's hard for me to move to be straight on with that board because of the way my desk is in the class. And then I always say, well, does your teacher let you move into position? Sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is no. So we have to actually make sure that our kids be asking questions about this. How are they sitting in the classroom? What are they facing? Are they able to square up on it? Will their teacher let them move? And if the answer is the kid says, no, my teacher won't let me move, probably that's not the case, we maybe just need mom or dad to go to the teacher and say, hey, they've got to be straight on with this because it's causing problems with their vision, or I don't want it to cause problems with their vision. So those are some of the things to look at. Again, computer screens, where you're sitting in the classroom and looking at all these various boards that might be around, how you're holding your devices. You know, if you're kind of like, let me do this over here. Okay, don't do that, right? So if you're laying on your side reading in the bed, or again watching TV or reading a book on the couch, just make sure that you're squared up and centralized to the things that you need to be doing. And that's the best way that you can prevent some sort of asymmetry, like a -1 and a -8, or a, let's say, -0.50, like I mentioned before, and a 3 diopter astigmatism in the opposite eye, or a +6 and a -2. Okay, that's the best way that we can prevent these asymmetries, which will lead to or cause a condition called anisotropia, where the images of the eyes aren't quite the same. One might be big, one might be little, one might be twisted and pulled. So those are a couple of great tips, and it will do you well to pay particular attention to those things. You might find, if you're tuned into it now after watching this video, oh my gosh, you do a lot of that sort of stuff, right? Like, oh, I'll just handle this one thing over here off to the side real fast. But the thing is that if you do it one time, you may do it another time, which leads to another time. And before you know it, you've got a lot of time doing stuff that's off center for you. And that's just not good for your eyes. Not only can you develop potentially an asymmetry or that anisotropia, but you also may be developing a strabismus or an eye turn as a result of it. The same goes if we're looking up in different positions, up at corners a lot. So kind of keep that in mind as well. Now, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the like button on this video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos. And if you feel like, hey, this is a good one, I need to send this to so-and-so, then please pass this on. Thank you.